Alright, so this is a quick video comparing two systems that are both running 13900Ks and two direct die water blocks. On one end, we have the EK Water Block Quantum Velocity 2 Direct Die Gold Limited Edition, number 71 out of 100. EK Water Block X Durbauer collaboration, paired up with a Z790 Aorus Master, a 13900K, and 4 sticks of 6400 MHz CL32 Renegade Fury. On the other side, we also have a Z790 Aorus Ultra this time, another 13900K, also 64 gigs of 6400 MHz CL32, paired up with an ICEMAN DWB12. What we have here is a $100 AliExpress water block, and we have a janky ass setup made up of 4 random fans. One of them is a static, the rest are airflow. For the pump, we have a salvaged old SPC pump, as well as a salvaged radiator. There's also an EK water block. These were salvaged from a dead system that was left and neglected for about 2 to 3 years with pastel liquid going through it. Then somehow the radiator and this thing have actually survived. Now, speaking of survival, this entire system wouldn't have existed if it wasn't for this thing right here. I can go into a deep, long story. This entire setup right here, this entire video, this entire 5 to 6 month long journey wouldn't have existed if it wasn't for that damn thing right here. So let's go ahead and do a quick test. So we're doing nothing special here. We got Task Manager, we got Hardware Monitor, and we got some stats. So let's go ahead and do a quick run. 4.89 gigahertz max, temperatures hovering around 77 degrees Celsius, running at around 290 watts. Now let's go ahead and turn these applications off and get a baseline. And the result is 40,327 points. Again, we're not doing anything specific. We're not doing any in-depth testing, and I can't be consistent with it either. And just for reference, running it with XTU with the optimizer, I can get around 41,200 something points. That's the max I've gotten, otherwise the system just heats up and it just can't keep up. So remember, 290 watts at around 77 degrees Celsius. So for this system, we're just gonna go and revert, turn off all the applications. Here we are. Also 4.89 gigahertz, 290 watts, but look at those delicious temperatures. That's what dreams are made out of when you're doing water cooling. So again, 40,626, slightly better result, but check this out. Go back to XTU. Now running the automatic overclock, it would also get me around 41,600 points or something. But we're gonna go ahead and do a little overclock, just a minor overclock. This is not a stable overclock because I haven't tested it. Don't know if it's stable or not, to be honest. Actually, before we do that, so here's everything turned off, and we're gonna go ahead and see what kind of result we'll be getting. 40,850. Not bad, not bad. So now let's go ahead and run our unstable overclock. So we're just gonna go ahead and do that. Slap some numbers on there, and we should be good to go. All right, Task Manager, hardware info, let's go. 5114, 360 watts at 77 or 79 degrees Celsius. Now, with these settings, with these applications, we hit a whopping 42,454 points. I mean, what? I don't know. These are the type of results that I was expecting when I got the stupid Velocity 2 block. So now let's go ahead and run it one more time without anything running in the background. Let's just see what kind of numbers we'll be getting. You know, I was gonna go to sleep. I installed this thing. I was gonna make a video about it, and I was gonna upload it sometime maybe next week. But look at these numbers, dude. 42,700. And if I were to actually go ahead and really tune this thing, I can definitely get 43,000. So, yeah, I'm tired. It's late at night. I've been working on this build for many, many months now. I'm sick of it. I have installed the revised contact frame for this thing, and it still sucks. It worked fine for the first week, and then I think the curvature of the cold plate with a bit of heat made the liquid metal kind of slip probably. Yeah, so there you go. Premium product, not so premium results. Janky setup, damaged CPU with a missing capacitor. By the way, for the backstory, why this right here existed, I damaged a CPU that was originally inside this computer using the delete tool. It's not intuitive, it's horrible. I'll have a video about it in the future, maybe, I don't know. I went ahead and stripped 6 SMDs. Alright, it's my fault. didn't read the instructions. You know, to be honest, it's my fault for even getting into water cooling. So I spent an hour looking for my SMDs on my dirty floor, turned off all the lights, took my phone light upside down so I can like investigate and find any tiny little speck of dust and see if it's the SMD. I did find them. And thankfully the contact pads were not damaged. However, all my tools were in the boxes. Didn't have the right tools. I botched up job with a USB soldering iron. Completely ruined it. It kind of killed about 3 SMDs, especially the capacitor. Long story short, bought a bunch of SMDs, measured all the ones that I had, and made sure that I have good measurements for the capacitor as well as all the other SMDs. So I'll post a video about it or somewhere in the description about those numbers. So yeah, soldered all of them except for the capacitor, so it doesn't have the decoupling capacitor as what people say, and it's running. On top of that, this motherboard is so tight. This block right here is actually touching and kind of cracked the little capacitor right here. So don't worry about it if you're using a different motherboard. So I fixed it and I'm like, you know what? I might as well test it. How am I going to test it? I'm definitely not going to rip this thing apart because in order to actually get to this damn water block, I have to first drain the entire system and save the liquid because this liquid is expensive. I'm not going to dump it. So I have to carefully, block by block, you know, seal off one end and then drain the system. And then remove the GPU, remove the bottom rad, and then remove the motherboard. So it's a big pain in the ass because I cannot get to the back of it because this case doesn't have a proper full cutout. So I can't actually get to the back of this thing without turning it into a full day project. I was like, you know what, I feel pretty good about this thing. You know, I'll just buy a motherboard, buy some RAM, and just go with it. And if this system did work, I was going to install it using my Arctic Freezer 2 that is in my old 8700K system. That is liquid metal delidded. So I took a risk, bought a bunch of tools, rework station, soldering iron, made sure I got the good stuff, and I have a nice repair. And I did record a video about it. I just haven't had time to edit and upload it, so look forward for that video. But then I was like, hold on, let me look at AliExpress because I've been buying a ton of fittings from AliExpress. And you know, let's just see what they have for direct die water blocks. And I found this ICEMAN 2. And oh boy, I'm trying to contain my excitement. These results are just insane. 65 degrees Celsius on a Cinebench run? Insane. Insane. So we technically have a crippled CPU that's been dropped twice, ripped SMDs, 3 soldered, missing capacitor. So yeah, crippled motherboard, crippled CPU, janky crippled scrap water cooling loop right here. And what do you know? It kicks ass for $100. Anyways, that is all for this video. Look forward for a ton more of EK water block videos. I'll show you me installing the revised plate before and after, fixing the CPU, checking out the inside of this little filter, you know, a bunch of cool stuff. So if you have any questions or things you want to see in a future video, do let me know. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. Take care.